say about the fight of your team?
Really good. We have a saying, there's no clock in baseball, and thank goodness tonight. I thought we were close a couple times, kind of won at bat an inning away from having a big inning or a crooked number that we just didn't get. Credit them. They made some nice defensive plays, particularly in the outfield. A couple pitchers did some nice jobs of working out of some jams, but 27 outs against our offensive group is a lot to get, and I'm proud of them for finding a way to win tonight.
Coach, I asked Ethan, when you look at a game like this, like, how would you identify this team? And he said toughness, but how would you identify it?
Yeah, that would be it. Yeah, tough and very together. And their best quality is they show up. I mean, we're 34 games into this. You're going to probably have a clunker at some point, but we haven't had very many. And that's just a total credit to their consistency as people. And they're in a stretch of, a lot of, road games right now, and just kind of how the schedule worked out with the rain out. But, even maybe not at our best, to be able to find a way to win speaks a lot to their character. But to me, it starts with toughness and just consistency. You know what you're going to get.
I think the batter's eye was a little weird tonight.
I didn't put myself into hit, so I didn't get a chance to see it.
How big of a step do you think William took tonight, going 4 innings and pitching with confidence?
Yeah, I mean, he threw 4 good innings against them in February, and I have a ton of confidence in him, and I think he executed great. I mean, I don't know how many he struck out in a row, but it was like 5 at one point. I'm not sure how many he ended up with, but a great performance from a pitcher that is very talented, that's going to be very, very good. We have a lot of faith in him, and I'm happy we set the game up tonight that way for several reasons, and really got what I wanted to get out of it relative to what he contributed to winning.
So the guys weren't overly aggressive tonight. They played those first 6 innings. They just weren't seeing the ball.
Like I said, I just felt like in several innings we were one good at bat away from probably rolling like we do, and we just couldn't get it. We got the leadoff guy on in the 5th, and then Derek ran the count to like 3-2 and actually put a pretty good swing on it. And it ended up being a double play. I mean, he hit the ball to the wall with the bases loaded there. Booker made a nice catch, and it just like, in the first inning we hit 3 balls, 107 or 108 miles an hour or better, and had nothing to show for it. So I think it was a little baseball, and we just couldn't quite get those 3 in a row. Like that 3 quality at bats in a row is what we're always trying to do. It just seemed really hard to come by early in the game tonight.
What's impressed you most about the team in this 4-game road stretch so far?
Won some close games. I mean, we've won 3 close games out of the 4. I tell them you have to win by 3 runs on the road. Just, you're out of your routine environment of opposing fans. It's just a different deal than at the box. And so to win 3 close games is probably the best takeaway.
To build off of a win like this as you get ready for the weekend series against Auburn, what does that mean?
I think it's great. I love Tuesdays. I want to be known as a team that plays well on Tuesdays. This team has, or midweeks, I guess you would say this team has. And we have a few more. I think we have 4 more to go. And then we separate it. If we walked out of here losing a tough one 4-3 or 3-2, we needed to move on to the weekend. It's great to get a good win on the road, and now we need to move on to the weekend. I'm kind of one of those guys, like, there's not a carryover in baseball. It's how we prepare for the weekend at Auburn. They do need to get some rest. I do feel like some guys need to get some rest. Tomorrow will be a non-practice day because we're going to get home late, and then we'll get reset and travel in the morning, get some time to rest in the afternoon on Thursday, and have a good practice at Auburn. I feel like we need that right now, so I'm glad we scheduled it the way that we did.
And to your rest point, Jared might have not had the best night, but can you kind of speak to the trajectory of his play?
Oh, he's been amazing. I mean, he's on a handful of players, I think 25 that are on the list for the Golden Spikes Award, which is the best player in the country, and I wouldn't trade him for anybody. I don't know what anybody else's statistics look like. I would not trade him for anybody. I think I see growth in the baseball and the play, but also see growth in nights like tonight where I had a call I don't think he thought went his way, but to collect himself, and he's the first guy being positive with William, helping him get to the finish line out here and encouraging him and bouncing around the infield. And that's what a true leader is. They get outside themselves and into the team.
How about John Pearson, pinch hitting?
Huge at bat. Yeah, he's a really good hitter, and he's going to be a really good player at LSU. He's on a really good offensive team. He's a guy we like to find at bats for. And in a couple of these games, he's drawn walks that have contributed to us winning close games. And I'm really proud of him, and I want to find some time for him. It's really difficult. Same with K. Darren Beatty. I mean, those guys are future linchpins of hopefully one of the best offensive runs in college baseball history. I think they can be part of that, and they're growing, and huge at bat tonight by John. Thanks for bringing that up.
And did you see positive steps from Connor in his 2 innings?
Oh, I think it was great. 3. He threw 3. And the best thing he did is it was just over 30 pitches. And got to the spot in the order like we wanted him to. 12 hitters. It was, looking at how they were going to set the lineup up. And to do that with so few pitches was great, because he'll be an important part of this weekend.
What were some of the issues that Jaden was running?
Well, he got 2 quick outs, and then I think did we walk a guy? I mean, and then Ingersoll had a double for 2 runs. He's got power. I think it was a legit double, but I think we were a little out of position, honestly. Like with a man on first base and 2 outs, we were trying to defend the whole field, and sometimes when you're trying to defend the whole field, you get yourself in trouble. But we'll have that cleaned up. And then it was a walk, but like with our offense, we know we're in striking distance. I just didn't want the game to get away. So after the second walk, Connor's really good at those fireman type situations with runners on base, and he got us out of it, got us a 0, and allowed us, just enough time to come back.
I think you talked about his mentality in those fireman situations.
Yeah.
And that seems fairly clear just given his demeanor. But
yeah.
What about his stuff sort of makes him?
I think it's tough to get an extra base hit on, and so he might give up a single, might give up a walk. But he comes in ready to go from the first pitch. Some guys you need to start innings. Some guys you can bring in the middle of the game. He's got that factor. He did it against Mississippi State. We didn't use him this weekend, so I thought his stuff looked better tonight. Like I felt like we've used him a lot, but I think the week off that really did him good. I thought he looked good tonight.
Would you say that for at least most of the guys who tonight, the stuff maybe was a little bit better because they had that extra week of rest?
Let's see, Connor hadn't pitched since Mississippi State, I don't think.
Yeah.
So he was really fresh. I thought he was good. And that crew, along with Maverick and Cooper, that's the crew that needs to just a little bit better. That crew's a little bit better. It really elevates our team. And 3 runs, road game, win. They did their job tonight.
And then offensively, it was just strange night. You guys have 11 hits, but they're all singles. Do you just knock it up as a strange night, or maybe these guys need a little bit more rest to get the power back? I don't know.
I think the rest will be good. I mean, we're spoiled. Everybody's spoiled with how good they are, and I think that honestly believe that's a normal baseball game. What was played tonight. We'll keep working at it though. I think some of it is guys have done so well that sometimes when you've done so well and you run into a couple ABs or a couple games where you're not getting 2 hits or hitting a double, maybe you try a little harder and you get outside your plan and maybe you swing a little too much, type thing. But I'm not concerned with that. They have a very good ability to get back on track, and that's a sign of good hitters and a good hitting team. And, it's a 9-game win streak or something like that. And so what an awesome deal to be able to say we can keep getting better and it's to win a 9 in a row.
What did Ethan do so well tonight?
He's a really good hitter. I love seeing him come up to the plate. He's been a big part of this team's success. I think maybe because he's not one of those guys that played as much as a couple other guys last year. He's lost in the shuffle a little bit, but our guys know how quality a player he is. And I'm sure glad he's on our team. And like a lot of these guys, he's a Hall of Fame person. I mean, he's an easy guy to get behind and root for, and really mature. And I think that maturity with his physical skills, it's great that he's kind of getting a good run now.
And with some of the defensive shuffling later in the game, again, like, is it nice to sort of have that in your back pocket?
Yeah, I felt good about all the moves tonight. Like, and it's easier to feel that way with this team because of what you said. We were still trying to catch up a little bit, so it was like I didn't want to take Kate Arambidi out of the game tonight. Kate Arambidi caught great tonight. He caught great back there tonight. I just felt like at that time, runner on first base, Jake Brown's speed, not going to hit into a double play. I knew they were going to get lighter in the bullpen at some point. Like, if we could put pressure on them right there, that was going to open up the game. And I mean, he made a huge impact in that game tonight. Huge hit to take the lead, I think. So you do that, and we had the weird defensive deal again for one inning because we were still trying to catch up. But then to be able to take the lead, get Braswell in, it's a fun team to coach, and they're all in it together. Tanner and Michael basically split time and both getting to contribute to all these wins. And it's good to be able to have that depth.
And with Cade, I think you mentioned that you kind of want to get him more involved in the weekends as well.
Yeah, for sure.
How do you sort of work that in, and just playing Luis in a game like this sort of show that, all right, like there's some time for you on the weekend too, because you can't play Luis every inning?
No, I don't think. I think it's complete. We're gonna win the game. Like, I made the move tonight to win the game tonight, and whatever we need to do to win Friday's game, like that's what we'll do. In the context of that, I have great faith in playing both of them. And like I said, he caught great tonight, and he's obviously a good hitter as we've seen, and they're both really valuable